I had a couple people ask, so I figured I'd give everybody a rundown on a 4430 here. This is a 1973 4430. And, well, I guess we can start right here. It's a quad range tractor. It still has the 404 motor in it. It is an after-cooled 404 out of a 4630. The first thing I've done was I put an air dog on it because the factory lift pump on the A pumps that go on the side there is nowhere near enough supply. So I put an air dog 200 on it, which is a little bit overkill, but it's what I had. I took my fuel gauge out and I made another 90 that just goes straight down in the tank. So it's basically the same thing on the inside, and I just cut out a plate and threaded a pipe fitting in it and then welded around it, you can see there. So and it just goes straight down into the air dog. Believe it or not, I didn't have to put clamps on that. So, and then it goes from the air dog. I have my fuel pressure gauge in right there, which is not working properly. Shouldn't have done that. And then the fuel line is 1/2-inch line. It's just run underneath the radiator and run up and clamped on the side of the pump there. And I actually made the return. The factory feed line is the return now, so it's still got the flare on it down here and the flare here. So if I ever go to put a factory lift pump back on it, I can just mount it right on, hook it back up. So that's got the valve open on the bottom of the tank, so it pushes the fuel out and through the old feed line for the return line. The fuel setup on this tractor, it has a Columbus diesel A pump. It's got 11mm plungers, a quick rate cam. It runs out at about 3,400 RPM. It's got 0.95 lines on it, and then it also has a set of 7x17 injectors in it. I'm assuming them are Columbus diesel injectors. I'm not sure who made them, but it's actually got the 466 injectors in it. I had to switch the hold down nut to get it to fit the 404 head. Belly weight bracket on it that just mounts on them holes right there. That works pretty good. So this is the other weight bracket that mounts where your factory hitch does. I can stack 6 weights, 3 on each side. Or no, I take that back. How many do I have here? 8 weights. Okay. Yeah, I can stack 8 weights on it. That's about all it'll hold. But here is my pulling hitch. You can see here. And this slides in here, and you have it here, so it's adjustable. It bolts on where your factory hitch does. But you can also, for some farm stock classes, they require you to have the factory drawbar. So you can back these nuts off here, flip this over, and raise it up, and you can slide your factory drawbar in there and still be able to use your weight brackets on each side. And here is the side that some updates need done on. It still has the factory 4430 turbo on it, which is about shot. When the tractor ran away on me, I stuck a book over the intake cover, and I can't quite get it back in there. But the turbo definitely has some in and out play. It's on its way out. It's gonna be time for a 3LM before too long. But since it is a 4630 404, it has an aftercooler on it. But other than that, this side is nothing fancy at all. I have a guillotine on here. If I had one person ask how I get it to seal on here, I actually cut a first-gen Cummins. That would be an intercooler boot. And I slipped it over, and then we slipped the guillotine over that yet, and it actually will create a tight seal, so when it closes, it'll shut the air off to it. And the next thing is, I had somebody ask me about my throttle. I had multiple people ask me about that, actually. This is how it works. So I made this throttle out of what I had laying in the shop. So it is not pretty whatsoever. But take the floor plate out here. I had run it in like this through there, back up around the back of the seat, and then you can see my throttle over. Then this is what I have going through a throttle. Hillbillied up is about the best way I know how to describe it. I just cobbled me a throttle bracket together, used an old piece of angle iron, and I have this zip stripped on. That probably should be something better, but the throttle is actually reversed from what it should be. Here's your factory throttle, which is just unhooked. The linkage still runs out there. That would be revving it up for the factory throttle, but with this thing you pull it back. It works, but it does not look pretty. I'd like to get something a little bit better. Yeah, so that's pretty much it on old 4430. We're pulling everything off it to get ready to farm with it in the spring, and then when pulling season rolls around, we'll put it all back on again. Thanks for watching.